So I've heard from you that there is a family relationship and there is also business goals. And when you use the word balance, so this image comes to my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Balance. Mm-hmm. So it seems to me that, correct me if I'm wrong, it seems to me that if a lot of emphasis on, say, family relationship, you might sacrifice your business goals and objectives.
Yes.
Or the other way around.
Yep.
Too much emphasis on business objectives or goals will sacrifice family relationships. Okay.
Yes. That's correct.
What's the belief behind that? Why emphasizing once, the other one must be sacrificed?
Because I've seen a lot of examples where I've never really seen the balance between the two. There's always been some type of conflict, because the family business comes from my husband's father, and he originally was working with his brothers, and when about 10 years ago he bought out his brother, then this brother competed with him on the same industry, and so my husband's brother, but so like his asok zai, he was competing in the same industry, taking colleagues away, taking clients away. So I saw it firsthand that unfortunately in their family, they don't value family and business comes first. And they can be very greedy. So I think that
in your husband's family,
yes,
you have noticed.
Yes. It's unfortunately, it's been a reoccurring theme. And obviously there must be family businesses out there who are very successful. Like Lay Kum Gay is probably one of the better examples of how they work together, or so there's definitely examples out there, but in my firsthand experience, I haven't seen it. So that comes to me as a warning sign that in this journey ahead, this conflict will definitely happen. So how do I prepare for that? And what can I do to equip myself so that I can handle and make it so that the ball, as you drew, is not as big. When it grows, we can start to bring it back down. So it.
Do I hear you correctly? So you mentioned that you haven't seen it firsthand, but you have seen it in your husband's family or in some others, like some out there, like you see other family businesses not working well.
Yeah, it seems to be a common theme. There always seems to be just conflicts with family business. And of course, my view is going to be very biased towards my husband's family business. But just when he talks to other friends who, like the Chinese Manufacturers Association, they obviously are, most of them are also family businesses where the second generation comes in, and they have like a young, the YCMA, and then they have the CMA. So, and a lot of the times when the younger generation, they chat, they're also talking about how do I bring the business to a place where we'd still be doing our business well, but then I'm not damaging, the older generation's legacy, or you have that conflict, but then you also have just internal fighting and arguing over who should get what share or what money, and it's a very negative view. I admit, but that's what I've seen. So I would definitely be open to examples where family business has flourished. And I think that Lay Kum Gay would probably be one example. My husband just went to the 130th founders celebration, and he brought back a couple of books. one is, if it is in English, so I can actually read that one. All the other ones are in Chinese, so, but I won't be able to read that one. But I could read the one in English, and I hope that I will be able to get, some good learning out of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Would there be a possibility that you can have good family relationship and at the same time you also be very effective with achieving the business goals?
I think that's what I want to do. I'm always the type that aspires to just, I do the best that I can, and I don't believe in burning bridges. I don't believe in being a hard ass, or, being really mean, and that's just not my nature. I believe that kindness and empathy are really important, just in holding your, just as, as a person yourself. So even when you have a goal, you should always just be kind. You don't need to be intimidating. I mean, again, this is from my New York days, where I had a boss who was very intimidating, not to me, but, she would call and she would just be really demanding to other vendors. And that's not my management style. And I think that, I think it is achievable,
Mm.
but I just have to be careful, and I have to be aware and understand, and just be open, and let the other people know that, our communication channels are open. If there's ever a time where you feel that i'm being being unreasonable or demanding, then let me know. And I also need to make sure that when they do let me know, I don't blow up, or, just, I'm reasonable about it. Say, okay, I'll stop, or, I'll bring that back down. So again, I think it's just caging the tiger and bringing the peacock out. But
So from what I've heard from you, when you mentioned that it's actually achievable, that both sides are on good terms. So then let me just draw one more picture.
okay,
Okay, my drawing is up. So it seems to me that instead of having this big and this will be small, you actually can have this picture becomes this. Oh, sorry.
yes, yes, yes,
So then,
absolutely. And if you draw like one arrow, like a circular, yeah,
oh,
because if your business, if your relationships are good, then I think your business will flourish.
mm,
I believe that. Absolutely, yes, absolutely. Because because if you're, and then therefore your business will flourish. And then just from a circular, from a cycle point of view, then your relationships will be stronger, because you have confidence, and you have faith that this person is doing the right thing, and is taking the company to the right direction. So they will reinforce each other. Yes, absolutely.
so is your section goal still striking a balance, or would you like to revise your goal?
Well, I guess it's to achieve that balance with the notion that by being able to do that, you are reinforcing. It becomes that circular. It becomes that a cyclical thing where, the business flourishes as well as the relationship flourish. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So can you repeat that goal in a short?
Um, let's see. So originally, my goal was to be able to strike the balance between family relationships and the business objectives. But by understanding that when you strike that balance, both the relationships as well as the business can flourish, because they are both reinforcing each other in a cyclical pattern. So
Mm.
instead of, it's not just a matter of striking the balance, but again, like in your illustration, enlarging those fields. And just that means reinforcing their relationships and having more faith in the skills that the people are able to do. And yeah, it's a win-win situation.
And when you repeat, when you try to rephrase your goal, I noticed that you were like I saw a very
Well, it's an epiphany
what was you thinking at that moment?
that I didn't think that far. That all I thought was, okay, I have to strike the balance, but I didn't think about what was the result Like, why do I want to strike that balance? What happens once I strike that balance? And I think that that's something that I also need to train myself to do, is that don't just think about, we need to think about the process, because I'm a firm believer in learning through the process, and not necessarily don't really care about the end goal. But I think I also need to have the end goal in mind, because otherwise you can just keep being like a maze in your process, but you're not really going anywhere. So I think that this session has helped me to understand that identifying, yes, I need to strike that balance, but once I do that, what's the result? And the result is it could be very positive from both aspects, and they could reinforce each other in a cyclical pattern. So that's the epiphany.
And how do you feel when you have that epiphany?
Well, I think it's good, because I really need, now more than ever, I think I really need to remind myself that I have to have a goal in mind. It's not just about the process, but it's about the goal. I think that lately my thinking has been, I'm just very grateful that I'm healthy, and I'm very grateful that I have a family who loves me, and I'm but some people can say I'm content, and therefore I don't strive for anything further. So my husband provides a very, very lovely lifestyle for me. I am very grateful for that. But I think it's also made me complacent. It's like, well, I don't really need to work, but I should, because it's good for me. And it sets an example for my kids that, oh, mommy stays at home and takes care of us, but she can also, she can work just as hard as daddy can. And I think that especially in the last few months, because I was in that business trip and I had attended a conference, that also just they told us to have a goal in mind. And I'm not really the type to want a material goal. I don't believe in that. I don't need a big house. I just want my health and I want my happiness. But, maybe I do need a house to house that happiness and my family. So something, maybe something that is tangible, but that's not really, I don't need a boat. I don't need a big mansion. I don't need that. But it's good to have some end goal in mind. And I think I have to continue to train myself to do that. So one of the things that the conference said, think of a goal. So let's say, like, the conference was to sell on Amazon. So if I become a multi-million-dollar seller on Amazon, my goal, I'll open a bakery, and they're free baked goods for everybody. I can bake, I'm happy, and, but that's not a real goal. So I still need to work on that.
With that new end goal on mind, what would be your next step?
Having a chat with the family and letting them know, this is what I came out. These are my reservations. This is what I came out of the coaching session that I had with you. And I think if we can all embrace that thinking, if we agree on that thinking, then we can use that as our way to move forward. Mm-hmm. And know that we set the boundaries, but we're doing everything with the intention for the good of the family as well as for the business.
Mm-hmm. So when will that happen?
Probably next week. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's got to be soon. We have to do it soon. There's no need to procrastinate when you can do it soon. We can do it now, but I can't do it now because my husband's in LA.
Okay, yeah. Next week, like in what occasion you would communicate that thoughts?
Well, likely over dinner, because my husband's family is very much motivated by food. So at the latest, I think it would be May 20th, because the brother is quite hard to set a date with. But I definitely have the 20th on the calendar, and we're going to have a steak night. And I think it'll be good to have a chat at that time over good food and company, in the right environment. And then, and hopefully that will set the mood for the job moving forward.
Mm-hmm. So any potential barriers or obstacles that you might imagine? Maybe the dinner didn't go as well as you have imagined.
Yeah, because it's very well that he could say, the brother would say, nope, not talking about business right now. So then if that's the case, then the next time they're always going up to China. So I'll set a date to go up to China with them to the factory, and then we can have a sit down and uninterrupted sit down, and just say, all right, within this 2 hour session, this is what we hope to get through.
Mm-hmm.
So if the dinner doesn't happen, there's always, we go up to China and we do it.
Okay, okay. So if not the dinner, you will also set up another time that would make sure that you can communicate your angle with the family.
Yes, yes. Because I am the mediator of the family. I've been That's what I've been doing, and I think it helps the family, helps to communicate and bridge the gap between the father versus the son, the mother versus the daughter. I've been the intermediary for many different occasions, so I'm quite used to it. And I think that if I have something to say, I think they're receptive to the message.
And on top of the strength of being a mediator, what other strengths that you also see in yourself that can help achieve your end goal of having both business and family relationship flourish?
I am my I'm a highly sensitive person, and I'm very empathetic. Sometimes I feel like it's a curse because I care so much about really dumb things that other people they just brush it off. But I think, no, 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 you have to recycle that. You can't just throw that in the trash can. Do you understand what you're doing to the environment? I mean, it's little things like this, but that high sensitivity and the ability to empathize, I think it's really important in breaking down barriers. Because when I take a minute to try to understand what the other person is going through, and I try to mold my response to that, I'm bringing down the barrier. They're more receptive to what I have to say, but sometimes maybe it's just they want somebody to listen. And I'm good at that too. So I think that my ability to listen, my ability to empathize, and my ability to not just give advice, because I don't believe that some people want advice. They just want somebody to listen to them, and for them to understand and to say, it's okay.
Mhm,
You're allowed to feel that.
mhm.
And if you want me to say anything further, I can, but we can leave it at that and say, it's okay. You're allowed to feel what you're feeling. And by being open, and by giving them a comforting environment, just like you had said, then, and they're able to talk, sometimes letting them voice it out makes them feel better. And that's, unfortunately, that's a skill I seem to have with a lot of people, and they just randomly open their heart out to me and spill their guts, and I'm like, okay. And my husband said, you should be a psychologist. I said, no, 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 because I would internalize everybody's problems and they would become my own, and I would go crazy. So no, I can't do that.
So you notice that you have this strength like being a mediator, being highly sensitive, and being empathetic. That would help you to achieve your end goal, having both things flourishing. One,
Yes,
one more question. So who can support you in moving towards this of your end goal?
my husband. My husband, absolutely. He will let me know. I always tell him, if I'm acting like your mom, you have to slap me. Okay? Just remind me that I'm acting like your mom and I'm not allowed to do that. But we have a wonderful relationship. We're very open, and I need his help as much as he needs my help. Although sometimes it's not as a parent. I seem to be advising him a lot more than he advises me, but I think it's just because of that high sensitivity that I have, that I can read his mind. I can understand what he wants. But he would be the person that, if I were to recount this conversation that I have with you in this session, and just and the epiphany that we had, and he'll be my partner in making sure that we get through these goals, because ultimately he sees his brother on a daily basis. He would be the mediator with the brother, and therefore, because he is that middle person, he can, hopefully, if he's more sensitive, pick up when there's certain things that are off off kilter, off balance. So he would definitely be that person.
Okay.
So
So we are running out of time. So how do you see this section? Has your goal been achieved?
yes, and beyond. And beyond, because you've actually it's what I said was a process, but there needed to be a goal in mind, and I think that goal brings a positive spin to this process, and with the belief that strong family relationships will yield a better business. I mean, let's hope and see if there's a study behind that could validate.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. Okay.
But yes,
And you also have a next step that you're going to, with your epiphany, you also want to share with family members and your husband.
yes, and my husband and I think will both, as a team, work together to achieve this goal,
Okay.
and making sure that balance is in place.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
So are you happy to close the section now?
Yes.
Okay,
Thank you.
that's good. Thank you very much again. Thank you, Tracy, and have a great evening.
Okay. Thanks. You
Thank you.
too.
Bye bye.
Bye.